Do we call the $360,000 so small to do something? No. What we said is, it is 1 talent, 2 talent, 5 talent. Nothing was too small to do something. God gave us the talent. Some people just call it this talent. Some people try to understand this talent in terms of personality. Kindness, gentleness, what else? Friendliness, whatever does you call it. Okay? But the gift of teaching, gift of serve, the gift of what? Patience. You just name. Everybody has a different personality and different gift. And at the same time, everybody has a different amount of money in their bank account. Is that true? I have a different amount, you have a different amount. So that's probably true. Right? So, the one we have is the gift we have, either in an account. What is this? Canvas. Unplug something from my computer. Thank you. I'm sorry. A gift that we have is all different. Whether it is our personality, whether it is the material possessions, whether it is our time or energy, it's all different. Some people are physically strong, some people physically not, just less strong. Some people are some people have an outgoing personality, some people have an inward personality. Some people like to talk, some people not. I mean, all different, all different. But when God bless us, when God entrusts those gifts to us, God has only one purpose, which is to work for His glory. Even though what we have received from God is all different. So it seems to me that person has more than I do. That person just received a little, just more than I do, but it doesn't matter. I don't care how many those other people have. God doesn't see that what I have, the difference of the quantities that we have. Only thing that God likes to see is whether we work or not. That's all that matters. Now, what is that purpose? What is that work that God wants to see? If we just look at the Bible, it is something that pleased the Lord. We all see when this is the first and second servant brought the product to the master. The master's reaction was just one. He was so excited, he was so pleased, right? Because the product was what he was expecting. Now, our question is then, what does God expect from us? What does God want us to do? That's the only question that we like to ask, And we like to know. Right? And especially in our own life context, what does it mean by that? If we think about the gospel of Jesus, and we think about the life of Jesus, the answer becomes clear. What does Jesus do? Why does Jesus come to the world? Do we remember? Did Jesus increase his possessions while he was on the earth? Did Jesus interest in the saving more money in his account? Did Jesus work so hard to make his house bigger? No. It was not the purpose of Jesus' life. Then what is it then? Jesus came to love us. Jesus came to proclaim the good news of gospel to the world. The Bible clearly said that God was so pleased with God. When Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, the sky was opened and a voice from the heaven and saying, "This is my beloved Son." Then why does God so love Jesus? Because Jesus was himself, and at the same time that Jesus did everything that God wants to see. The first thing that Jesus did was the proclaiming the words of God to the people so that the people will hear the message of God through Jesus. And second thing that he did is he healed the people. He visited the broken heart people and he shared the love of God. He healed their brokenness and he brought those people back to God. We're all here as Christians. And then Christian means, like I said last week, the people who follow the life of Jesus. If it is the story, then the answer is so clear. What does God want us to do by giving all these different talents? To tell the gospel to people around. Number 2, bring people to the Lord so that they may dwell in the grace of God. These 2 things, there's only 2 things that God wants us to do. And then let me just describe these 2 methods a little more detail. As the family of God, as the family of the United Methodist Church, you have done a great job in helping other people. But first of all, as we already shared this morning, we reach out to the people even in Africa. We help those people by supporting our missionaries with our mission offering. We cannot be there by ourselves, but we send our brothers and sisters over there. And then we support their ministry. And we support them to continue their ministry out there. So in that sense, you can be proud of who you are. You can be proud of what you do. Even around Oklahoma, through the prison ministry and circle of care, who help the homeless and the parentless children, and then the schools around, and then helping the homeless people around the city area, and then all over the disaster area, like Haiti and Louisiana. Remember that whenever the neighbors around the nations and world were in the great difficulties by the natural disasters, we are the first denominational churches be there with a big sum of money. And that is possible because of you. So here I like to encourage you to continue your great work. You've been doing a wonderful job. And then we're going to do this wonderful work through this 2011 as well. Your mission offering is that important. But is that all? Is that all that we can do? No. God also wants us to do something in our life. Supporting other missionaries is very wonderful, very excellent work, and just really, really important. But what about we as a missionaries? What about we as a ministry? What do you do as a Christian ministry? You are minister. You are minister. You are a disciple of Jesus Christ. And what do you do in your own life context as a disciple of Christ? That's the question that we like to ask ourselves. A year ago, when our church was struggling, God blessed us so much. And God healed our brokenness. And God has restored us. And God has even given us this great authority. Is that it? Is that it? No. This is not the ending point. God gives all these blessings to push us to do something great work, something better work, something greater works. I want you to think about that. We all say, when we talk about the talent, the parable of talent, many pastors just reduce the message, just focusing on our own salvation. So God gives us this talent, so God gives us this faith, so we must submit ourselves to the Lord, and we must worship God, and we must save ourselves. That's good. That's very important. But if we come, and then we worship, and then we follow Jesus through the spiritual discipline, so through prayer, through Bible class, we just grow ourselves in the Spirit, so we are so sure that we have our place in heaven. So we are happy every day, and that we are so joyful every Sunday. That's one talent, sir. Okay? That's one talent servant. We work for our own soul only. That's one talent. We got to level up to the 2 talent servant. Which means we should be a witness of gospel to other people. The first, we should be a Christian to our family. That's what we should do first. I should be a Christian to my wife. You should be a Christian to your spouse. And then we should be a Christian to our children. Our children should be a Christian to their parents. That's what it means by becoming a servant who received the 2 talents. I have heard so many just complain the stories around. My father is a pastor, but he's always angry at us whenever he's at home. My mom, my father, they're so active in the church, but they always abuse us when they get home. Does this make sense? Yes, it is truth. It is truth. There are so many people that act like a Christian within the church boundaries, but as soon as they just leave the boundary of the church, they just became a different person. But that's not what God wants to see. God wants to see us to be a Christian wherever we go. So if we can be a true witness of Christian faith and love to our relatives and to our close friends and to our families, it's wonderful. And God will be happy with our work. And that will make us probably 2-talent servants. Now, what is 5-talent servant? Jesus said, if the Pharisees do good things to their lovely ones. Do you remember that? Even the Pharisees can do the good to their lovely ones. Which means, we as a Christian should be a Christian to the strangers we meet in the marketplace, we meet on the street, we meet everywhere. To somebody who doesn't know us, we should be a Christian. Amen? That's what it means to be, what it means to live as a Christian. Throughout 2011, I have this vision. I like to encourage you all to live as a Christian. In your family, in your relationship to other friends, and even to the strangers. And I want you to bring those people to the Lord. When we finish our journey and get to heaven and see Jesus, the first question that Jesus will ask us is not that what was your position in the church? That's not the question Jesus is going to ask. Or how much do you have in the bank account? That's not the question that Jesus will ask us. Okay? Or what did you do while you were on the earth? Were you president? Were you CEO? Were you a student? That's not the question Jesus is going to ask us. The question that Jesus is going to ask is, how many people have you brought to me? How many souls have you saved in my name? You start with one because you saved your own soul by the grace of God. Number one, that has been deposited into your heavenly account. Now, how many? My family. Let us do something great work. Okay? Let us do really, really wonderful things together that will please our God. Amen.